Good morning, everyone. January the 8th, 2016. This is the biggest news day on the schedule for January of 2016. The market is backed off of its highs. The E-mini rallied in Globex all the way up to 1960 from 1933. That took us lower, but you can see the range, as was on the E-mini, I believe, was set in that initial U.S. session before Asia opens. On the London split, we've got support in the 24 area, and we've got resistance basically at the buck. It is a newsday trade, having scoop orders right at when the news hits, 20 to 24, 30 seconds away from the market. To fade the move is probably about the best way you can play this. Get a chance to react to it. But as we start out, just looking at where resistance might be, basically the buck, then it's in this 4 to 6 area, then it's in the 8 to 12. So without the news, we'd be selling 31s to 03s, then 7s to 11 would be sell 2. We do have news. If you want to take advantage of the news release, you have to position before the market opens. Second buy zone would be this 20 to 24, would be the first buy zone, excuse me, and 17 to 13. Really going to boil down to what does the E-mini do. And the E-mini sometimes reacts the way that you'd expect it will with fundamental news, and sometimes not. You cannot count on it. Treasuries, gold, and the euro almost always react the way you'd expect them to the fundamental news, and that's what makes them easier to trade, in my not so humble opinion. So how do you handle a newsday trade? Just say the assumption the news is positive for the note. And right here we'll just say that's where the market was when the news hits. So on that first bar, when it comes in, and this requires a nimbleness, sometimes first 20 to 30 seconds, but usually you have a 3-minute bar to work with. If you want to get in a limit, in this case a limit buy against the mode mean, would be the first place. Value area low would be the second place. And then where the news hit the market would be the third, where you'd have resting limit buys. The other way to play it is to put a trade out there, 20, 24, 30 seconds away from where the market was just as the news hits, and fade the move. Then if you come back down and you can't crack the mode mean or the value area high or the value area low, whatever it happens to be, you exit the trade. The news, 200K for non-farm payrolls, 5% unemployment. Nobody believes these numbers, but it's what the administration demands to maintain this farce of a good economy. And they get it. For the first, under Obama, for the first time in BLS history, 2 political appointees were put in to run the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they have gotten the numbers they wanted ever since. 193 for private non-farm payroll. Average earnings up 0.2%. That's the default number. 34.5 for the average work week, and then the wholesale trade unchanged at 0, no growth. The focus, 1, non-farm payrolls, second unemployment rate at 5%, and the cross-check will be average work week. Okay, China revalued its yuan upward by a tick, the smallest increment possible, to show that their currency can rally. China is going to devalue their currency They're in desperate economic straits right now. They have to find jobs for at least 25 million new workers each year. They are mercantilists. They are top-down control. Their economy is riddled with bad loans given to their cronies. And right now, if you're a journalist that publishes anything bad or writes a bad news article, if you're a large shareholder in a Chinese company, if you're a hedge fund and you go short, you can literally be arrested. So they are doing everything that they can to maintain this facade, and it remains to be seen how successful they'll be. Okay, on the 30-year, you can see that we've got some support right down here. We definitely have resistance starting in the 16 areas. So 19s to 23s, sell 1. 50.31 to 03, sell 2. On the buy side, 1 to 5. If we did not have news, and then given how wide the fastest market can move, 17 to 21 to the downside. My feeling is that we have entered a bear market in stocks, and that treasuries will find buyers, but it will react to the headlines as you would expect it. So if we come in non-farm, if we come in as forecast, 200,000 jobs, it lends a bit of credence to the Fed's story that the economy is good and getting better. Now, when you go back and look at the Fed's economic forecasts since 2009, they have overstated economic growth. Every forecast and every situation has come in lower than forecast. So their forecasting record is perfectly wrong. But people will trade, news algos will trade the headlines. Okay, looking at gold. We had our sell last night basically in the 10 area, plus or minus 1. Worked in Globex. It went up. Its market has come back off. It will react to the news. Support is at 95, so the first buy would be 96.94. Then we'll be back to 89.91 for buy 2. On the sell side, London's high is the buck. So then we have the last rotate up and I period was 03, so 1100, 1102 would be sell 1. Then back to our 7 to 10 from yesterday for sell 2. This market will react to the news in a big way. Same situation. You have to benefit from the potential swing. You have to be positioned before the news hits. The way a large trader handles that is that they don't trade size, but they will trade it. Okay, the euro is off last night. We like the short side of the market damn near every day. And the reason we like the short side of the market is it's the European Central Bank's stated policy to take the euro lower to increase exports outside of the EU. So 109.50 didn't quite make it. Was one of our points last night, selling against it. And right now you got the London high at 16. We're at 78, so sell 1 will be the buck. Sell 2 will be 25. I think we're headed lower, so we'll give it some room to the downside. 850 buy 1. If the number comes in as forecast, the euro should be lower because our economy is still showing economic growth. And the news algos will trade it as such. Okay, crude oil. A lot of articles are coming out about the problems in the Saudi Arabian economy, and it's been an economy that has just been built and sustained by crude oil. The most popular degree and the one that's encouraged in Saudi Arabia for people going to their colleges and universities is the study of the Quran. That will not get you much past creating an imamship for yourself. And obviously in Saudi Arabia, most of those slots are taken. It's very hard to create, so you can go out in the world and become an imam. Anybody can become an imam. All an imam means is that you have a following. There is no central clearinghouse to make sure that doctrine is adhered to or doctrine is standardized. Each imam's interpretation, if he can get his followers to believe him, is what it is. So, I got a feeling that right now maybe that 32 level is going to hold for a while, and if we come back down and we get a good test of the 3250 area and it holds, then I would expect short covering rally that could take us back above 35. So right now, just structurally, 35 is a very round number, and that's resistance, and you can see that we're having a hard time trading above 34 and a quarter. Yesterday we came in wanting to sell 34 and a quarter. It's where resistance is. Sell one. And we'll make, if we bust through that, we'll make 34.75, 35, sell 2. The buy side, 33 and a quarter. It's where support is. Trade what you see, not what you believe. And then 32 and a quarter, 32.50 for buy 2. Okay, the E-mini. Where we found resistance mid-session yesterday, the 1960 area held as resistance in the overnight session. And why do I say that? You can see right here we have this G period high. And that was for the start of the new distribution down. Now, one of the interesting things about the E-mini, and it usually happens within 24 hours, if you get a MOM, start of a new distribution, it likes to retest it within 24 hours. If it holds, then you've got the direction nailed. So in a non-news situation, because this new move down held, we would be looking to sell it. I still think that is the trade. So we've got resistance at 60, we have resistance at 70, then we have resistance here at 75, really to as high as 85. And we're down to news. On a news day trade like this, a resting limit sell, let's say the news hit the market at 49, a resting limit sell 10 points away has worked out pretty well for us in the E-mini. It's a place to fade it. Then if it comes back and won't take out the mode or the mean, you get out of the trade. That does carry risk. There is no guarantee that it'll just move 10 points on the first reaction to the news, but usually they will contain it. That's like an average, right? In that average is our numbers higher and lower than that average, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. So right now the sell 1 would be the 60 area, sell 2 would be 70 based on the structure. So, and then on the buy side, based on the structure, 35 to 40 would be buy 1. And then I think if we go lower, if we bust that 35 area, that we're probably going to head down to 25. So 25 to 30 would be buy 2. Quick review: 200K non-farm payroll. That is the focus. 5% unemployment. That's what creates the whipsaw. They're both in agreement. Both these numbers, if as forecast, would support the Fed's storyline that the economy is good and getting better. Private 193, Earnings up 0.2, that's the default number. 34.5 is the average work week, that's also the default number now. And wholesale trade at 0 or unchanged. News focus, non-farm payroll, second, unemployment. It'll take a bit to get everything up and posted. We'll be playing with my printer. I'll be back on the news.